So, Benny, I got something to present you. Two things, actually, for the podcast today.
Oh, God. All right.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a joke. Okay? Okay. You'll generally find that musicians are optimistic. Do you know why? Because they're always upbeat. No, in all seriousness, I was on TikTok this week, or the past 2 weeks, and I heard a song, like a clip of a song. It's fully out now. And I heard this, I'm like, if I heard Benny in a song, this is it. This would be Benny in a song. So I'm going to play the little clip real quick.
God.
And I want to see if I'm right. Not like you as a person.
Mean?
Like, it feels like a Benny song. Like how you say pop punk feels like
Oh,
Wiley.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
let's go. Show me.
Here we go.
Oh, is that Wild Rivers?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're fantastic.
Okay, so this would be a right observation.
Yeah.
Because I heard that
song called. Wait, what?
Because I heard that song, I was like, this sounds like Benny. Like, this sounds exactly like Benny's.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. I like a good split lead vocal, male and female action. You know.
Yeah, it just feels just feels like Benny. Welcome everybody to the Fresh Record Podcast. I am your host, Wiley Todd, and with my co-host here, Mr. Benny Cumella. How you doing, Benny?
Thank you. I'm doing good. I had 4 teeth removed this week. I am off painkillers finally, and I'm behind on every aspect of life. I'm joking.
The best of us.
I'm joking. I'm doing good. 4 classes, full-time job, making it work.
Yes.
Well,
before we actually get into, as we do, our song picks of the week, we got a couple topics to cover this week. So first of them being, you went to go see our boy Stephen Day live. You got to talk about this.
I did.
You got to talk about
it was so good. I was very swollen from my wisdom teeth surgery. But yeah, it was a good time. We got to see pretty much like his entire discography get played. There were a few songs
which never happens at concerts.
Well, he's got like 2 EPs or like an EP and an album, and then like a bunch of singles that just recently came out. So, he's phenomenal live. Pitch Perfect. It was crazy. The crowd was incredible. I've never been to a concert where someone's audience was harmonizing with them without direction. Like, the people were just harmonizing with him as he was singing along, like doing the ad-libs that were like in the recordings. Truly like a free chorus for him. And he didn't have any like direction in the audience, like, oh, you sing this part, you sing that part. People were just so musical.
How is that atmosphere? Like, how is the atmosphere of a Stephen Day concert? I feel like it would be like really chill vibes.
Good vibes all around. Everyone was really nice, really cool, respectful, friendly. Yeah, it was great. The opener, Blake Ruby, who I'm actually going to talk about in this podcast episode.
Spoiler, freshies.
Yeah, a little spoiler. Really talented songwriter. I was really taken back by just how talented he was. I checked out his music prior to going, but seeing him live, it kind of cemented that. And I got to meet him after the show. We got to talk for a bit. Really nice guy. Yeah.
Concerts are great places to network in general, to meet people and things like that. It's very like,
that it is.
It's a social scene for sure.
Yeah. As you guys know, or you might know, I'm an A&R scout for a record label, independent co.
Love it.
So a big part of being an A&R is being out, in the scene, meeting people, making those real world connections. Um, an email can only go so far, so uh, you know, got to make some moves at the concert.
You have
We'll
to,
see what happens.
It's part of it, part of the job.
Can't be too forward here.
You got to keep
uh
things under wrap, Benny. You got to be more
yeah,
modest
got
about
exactly.
them.
Hmm.
um,
Uh
yeah. The thing is so we're a music podcast, right? So we need to bring up the biggest music conversation right now, and that is this rap beef with Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole, kind of J. Cole out of it. Have you heard anything about this? Because I've recently like especially like we're recording this on the 4th, and on the 3rd, literally Kendrick released a diss track, then Drake released another one, and then Drake released one right after the Kendrick, and then Kendrick released another one. This all happened last night. I was watching a live stream and they were covering it. Have you heard about any of this stuff?
I have not. Well, I think I don't know what the deal is, obviously, but
Yeah.
um sometimes stuff like this is just staged for PR, you know,
I don't think
get people
this
talking.
one. You're right, and I'll say it very clear. I really just don't give a shit about any of this, but I know it needs to be talked about. And like, it's the biggest thing in music right now. Like, Dua Lipa just released an album. I love it, but that's not the talk of the town. It's the freaking rap battles right now. That's what it is. So after hearing everything that happened, apparently Kendrick said that Drake has another kid that's supposed to be 11 that was released in the diss track and stuff like that. So like, just kind of crazy stuff happening.
Oh, I have been seeing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's been the talk of the town. I thought it was worth a mention. I don't have any thoughts or comments. I'm just saying that the Kendrick last song he released last night was really good. It was kind of fire, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not really on either side. I just don't really care, but it does need to be mentioned, I think. But yeah, that's that's pretty
Yeah,
much
so
it.
J. Cole kind of just like removed himself from the equation. He's
Yeah,
out. He doesn't
yeah,
want to be a part of it.
yeah.
I have a lot of respect for J. Cole. You know, of the three of them,
He's
in my
getting memed.
opinion,
He's
he's
getting memed on badly by everyone. J. Cole.
in what regard?
Because what happened, J. Cole released a diss track and then like a day later saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," and took it down. So they think of him as like a coward.
Is that what happened, or is he just like I just don't want to deal with this?
I don't know, but that's like the
Oh,
rumors of how things happen. Again,
got it.
we can't prove anything. We know nothing about this besides what they release. So
Of
like,
course,
yeah.
of course.
Um, but yeah. So you were saying you have respect for J. Cole.
So much respect for J. Cole.
Are you a fan?
Oh my gosh. Um, a fan is like a strong word, right? I wouldn't consider myself a fan.
Okay.
I'm a fan of his music. I'm not a fan of him, you
Okay.
know. Uh, but he's been around for a while. I mean, um, you know, like I remember listening to him in high school more than now.
Yeah.
Uh, like in 2014, the Forest Hills album, For Your Eyes Only in 2016. Um, and then since then, you know, I haven't really listened to much, but uh, yeah, very talented.
Yeah, like he said, like he considers himself one of the big three. And that's been
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
he's getting memed on by everyone. Like and I mean by everyone is like everyone that who gives a shit. He's getting memed on. Um
Well,
I don't know why this is
he
like
released his what?
so released a diss track and then
Uh,
took it down and apologized.
Well, he released an entire album.
No, this is
So
separate. The diss
on
track is
April,
separate.
no, it's on the album. So it was there were 12 tracks on the album. Might Delete Later, it's called. And 7 Minute Drill was the final track on the album. So, uh, on April 5th, it was released. 7 Minute Drill was on that release, and then I think it says that he took it down on April 7th, so it was up for 2 days.
Okay.
No, so no, April 7th, he apologizes for it, and then on April 12th, he took it down. So he released it on the 5th, apologizes on the 7th, and then decides to take it down on the 12th. So the song lived for a week on streaming
That's
platforms.
kind of funny. Like,
Yeah. But the album itself is called Might Delete Later. So,
yeah.
he stuck to what he was saying. He didn't he made it known.
Yeah, let's just, we don't know much about this stuff, but I thought it had to be mentioned for the history books. Yeah, I really don't care. The big thing to me this week is the Dua Lipa stuff. The Dua Lipa album's incredible. People been dogging on it. I've seen. Why does every album I like get dogged on by everyone? I fucking sweat. I'm so tired of it. That's one thing I wanted to talk to you about today in this podcast, Benny, is that so I'm a person that struggles with confidence in a lot of realms. But when it comes to opinions about music, because you got to keep in mind, I'm a movie guy first and foremost. I grew up on them, like watching them religiously. I went to film school. I'm confident in my movie opinions. Like, I could say I don't like this and it doesn't affect me how other people think. I can kind of accept it. But music is a sensitive subject to me because I'm new to it. Well, I'm not new to it. You know what I mean? But like,
You're not
like,
new to it.
Yeah, like I've been studying.
You wouldn't
it.
consider yourself to be a musician, is what you're
No.
saying. Like, you've
Well,
studied the business, but you wouldn't.
yeah.
You're not.
I don't feel like I have the creds to do it sometimes. So therefore, when I say I like something, and then someone says they don't like it, then it hits me deeply, and I start to get angry. I don't know if you noticed in the past as we've been friends, like. When you say you don't like something, I take it as like a personal attack that I like, and it kind of gets you riled up.
You don't need to take it as a personal attack.
No, I'm saying this is
like
a confidence
different things,
So something with the podcast as we evolve and continue. One of the things I want to work on, and Freshies, I want you to call me out if you notice this, that I need to be confident in my choices and not let other people's opinions affect me in any way or things like that. I just need to be confident in what I like. And I need to work on that. So I'm going to use this podcast as that. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So I thought that's an interesting. Have you ever dealt with that? Have you ever dealt with like confidence in your own opinion on things?
No. Well, I mean, like, it's subjective, right? It depends on what we're talking about. I personally am not a confident person, like at all. Like,
this should have been called the Fresh Confidence.
We need confidence. No, so I wouldn't consider myself to be a confident person. And there are very few things in life and about myself that I'm sure of. And one of the very few things that I am sure of is my ability to understand music and to know what is good music. And in that same breath, I understand that there are different tastes, different opinions. Music and art itself are subjective. There's no right or wrong to it. But I am confident in my ability to discern what music is marketable, like what is a hit. I like what I like.
Yeah. Do you separate it by that, for example? Like if you're confident in your opinion. So let's say, okay, I'm going to just use these card games as an example that I have here. Okay. So let's say the 1990s is your love, right? This is your love. This is what you like.
Okay, sure.
Or do you want the 80s? Which one do you prefer? Which one do you prefer?
Let's do the 90s.
Okay.
Sure.
So you love the 90s. You love it. This is your bread and butter. This is what you crave. But then you think of the 80s as the better album. You think the 80s is subjectively better music, and this is actually what's good, but this is what you love. Do you put those
they're
separate?
so different.
Do you put them
so
separate?
Different. No, I think that popular music is so vast, especially during the 80s and 90s, and they bleed into one another.
Well, no, we're not talking literally these. We're just talking as an example. Like we're talking, like I'm using these as albums, for example.
No, I think it's subjective. Genuinely, I I think,
But
you know,
you just said that your confidence is what you know is good music. So like,
yeah,
do you think
it's
whatever you like is considered good music, or is it just like if you don't even like the song, you consider it good music?
yeah, I could listen to a song and be like, that's a hit, you
Uh
know.
huh.
Uh, but it's not something that I would listen to.
Okay.
For example, like the Ariana Grande album
Yeah.
that we went over. Yes,
Why
and
would
I
you
heard
bring
that
that up?
song, and I was like, okay, that's a hit. That's a club hit. That's
Uh
gonna
huh.
be playing in clubs throughout the summer. This is gonna be like a huge dance hit. You know,
I
like
love
people are
that
gonna
song.
love this song. Do I like it? No. Is it something that I would listen to? No. But it's
Mm.
a fantastic song. It's like it's
I
so
would love
it's yeah.
like I really admire that about you, and I think it's good for the podcast. Plus, just as a friend that I have there's someone that could do that because I can do that with movies. You know, like I can be like, I did not like Oppenheimer, but I understand everything in it. I understand the cinematography. I understand the act.
Mhm.
Like I understand the levels, but I personally don't like it. I can do that with film. With
Yeah.
music, that's incredibly difficult for me to do because I don't know. Like and I want to get better at that, you know. Like yeah, well,
It,
yeah.
it's just like how do I say this? Music, I've said it already. There's no right or wrong.
Mhm.
It's just you can't choose what you like.
100%,
Inherently,
100%, yeah.
you like you gravitate towards things that you like naturally. You can't
Yeah.
force yourself to like
Everything
something.
comes from an
Uh
emotional background and standpoint, you know?
yeah,
Like
there's so
yeah.
many factors that contribute to what you like, whether it's music, whether
Uh-huh.
or anything, food, music,
Mm.
who you're attracted to. Like none of this is something that you decide to
But
like. It's just inherent.
but
So it's
would you agree that in like a music standpoint, supposed to TV
yeah,
shows, movies, books, and everything, right? Music is
yeah.
a little bit harder to grade than those other forms because at least with a film, you could be like, that's beautiful, that's good cinematography, or that's good acting. It's not wooden, like
Same
things like that. But
same thing could be said for music.
yes, but true. But like, I feel like
Yeah.
we're in a culture now when it comes to music conversations where people come to them and be like, this is good. You know, it's not, they're closed minded to conversation of having why is it good? You know, that people are not having those conversations about things. And I think that matters so people can
Yeah.
learn and evolve their taste and things like that. But no one's having those conversations.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of condescendence and superiority in this industry, in the
Oh,
entertainment industry in general.
110%. You're right. Yeah.
A lot of people and I hate that, but there's so many people, unfortunately, that are like, this is shit. This music sucks.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is like,
Mm.
and they're first and foremost, they're wrong. You know, it's just the way of the
Yeah.
game.
But like with
uh,
like just to prove my point here a little bit is
mhm,
like one thing that I've evolved since we started Berkeley and things like that since I've known you, when I listen to music now, I'm able to break it down like a film. You know, cinematography, supposed to instrumental, things like that. Like I can break it down like I'm watching a movie where like, okay, I'm not too keen on these lyrics, but this production is killing it with these booms. Like I'm starting to do that more and more as I evolve my sound and what I think about music. So I'm able to do that, but that's what people can do when they learn from people, not just saying this is good, no explanation, and
mhm.
shutting it off. So like I'm glad we had this podcast to have those conversations, to talk about music that way, instead of just saying this is good. You know, like we need to start that conversation of actually diving deep into why something's good. Um,
Mhm.
because you're right, everything is subjective, everything's opinion. Like, yeah, of course, we need to have those conversations. Is my point. But yeah, we can get into our music. I wanted to have that
Let's do it.
conversation because I think that's an important one to say. And things I want to work on and stuff like that. That's what this podcast's for. So, Benny, should we flip a coin to see who goes first?
Actually, I'm just gonna take the lead here and go first.
Oh, okay, fancy
I'm gonna
pants.
take
Okay.
I'm gonna take control for once.
Oh, damn.
Um,
Love to see it.
um, so the reason why is because I already broke into this earlier on in the episode. So I mentioned, or Wiley brought it up that I went to a Stephen Day concert on Monday, and the opener, Blake Ruby, who I had the pleasure of meeting and talking to, and potentially collaborating with. Really excited. Can't say much more than that. I'm gonna showcase one of his songs because I think he deserves some spotlight right now. He's only got 55,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, which um, isn't too many from the grand scheme of things. And he just released an album last year called She, and it's about his wife. His wife is actually on the album cover, which I love. But he's got a lot of taste. He's got like a good presence, and I like his artistic choices both musically and aesthetically. Um, so without further ado, this is Dirty Laundry by Blake Ruby. It's like I've ran out of time. Pretty sick, right?
Absolute bop.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Absolute fucking bop.
I love the way that song just evolves throughout the entire track.
Oh.
There's so many layers to it.
Oh, like so many.
It kind of just so many layers. It just keeps on like as it progresses, just more and more just gets put into it.
It surprises you. It's like you're opening up.
It does.
Because like it went from like that bass line to the piano. I was like, holy shit, dude! It was like, oh my god, it's so good.
It really opens up. Yeah, and I understand this kind of music isn't for everybody. It's very intricate. But like you wouldn't hear this on top 40 radio.
No,
unfortunately. But it's so good. Face value, like he's a phenomenal musician.
You know what?
A+.
We always talk about it, like dancing in the kitchen type of song for a playlist like this. You know, people love that music. Like one's like by Baker. There's a song like, I forgot what it's called, but it's the artist Baker. He very much falls in that line. But what I really like about this music is two things. I really like his voice because I've never heard anything like it. It's so unique. It's it's a very
it's crooner-esque, you know.
Yeah,
it's giving like Steven Sanchez.
I would
like
say
in that realm.
I would say it's like a mix of Stephen Day in some parts of it, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely similarities.
Yeah, but there's also like, I don't even know what to describe it as. There's like another part to it that's different than Stephen Day that it makes it super unique.
It's kind of like experimental, like retro pop.
Yeah.
Like lots of there's jazz influence, there's like new age pop, like there's like also electronic production in it too. There's so many elements in it that are like that you wouldn't normally see together working cohesively in a very, very well done fashion.
I also really like the lyrics and what it was saying in the lyrics, because it's like, oh, I'm wanting you to come over, you know, I'm tired of being alone, which we see so many love songs, right? But it's usually they're together or they're broken up or they're in like that weird, there's always that. But this is like in the beginning of the relationship. Like it's starting. This is like the infancy of it. And I love that. It's a tone of it. If I had one critique about this is I don't think on the echo vocals, whatever you call them, what's the term for them? Like the
reverb?
Yeah, the reverb vocals are not mixed super well, and it makes it kind of hard to hear sometimes. And to me, at least, I just don't think those are mixed super well, but everything else is on point in this track to me.
See. Okay. I didn't get that personally.
Yeah.
I think, but I would need to listen to it again. I could have just, went over.
But that's the great thing about the song. You get lost in it. But I was really trying to focus on every element. I was reading the lyrics as we were listening to it to really get the feeling of the song. So I was really noticing that stuff, and because I wanted to be in it, present.
Yeah.
But great track. I think a lot of freshies would enjoy that one for sure. That's a really good track.
Do you want to see something?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be back. We're back. So, before we move on to the next portion of this episode, just want to make a quick note here that Wiley is graduating from the esteemed Berklee College of Music in less than a week. No, a week. Well, I guess it is less than a week now. A week from today, Wiley will be a Berklee graduate. Isn't that insane?
I
Give him
still
a
can't
round of
really
applause.
believe it, bro. You can't believe it.
So, since we were just talking about Blake Ruby, um, so it's just I figure this would be a good way to introduce this. But since you are graduating next week, I got you a signed Blake Ruby poster as part of your graduation gift.
Awesome. Thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Benny.
Yeah.
That's
I'm gonna get it
awesome.
framed.
What?
And also,
Wait, if you get it framed, how would I get it back to Oklahoma?
put it in your book bag.
Dude, I don't have any room. I'm bringing all my camera gear.
Then I can take it back home, and you could take it with you, and you come visit me. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But then there's also something else.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no. Again,
you
you did
talk
not
about
have to do
Stephen-
this.
you talk about Stephen Day a lot.
Oh shoot.
Oh
shoot.
I got you
hell
a
yeah.
signed Stephen Day poster.
That's incredible. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was also gonna get this framed.
That's awesome, dude. I love
Isn't
it. Oh, dude, Stephen Day's
Yeah.
great. Stephen Day's great. That technically, Stephen, like, if we had to pick this, I'm sure this will evolve over time. If we had to pick the artist of the fresh record, it would be Stephen Day. Like, I'm sure this will evolve over time, but like right
One
now,
of the top picks for sure.
oh, 100%. We talk about him.
Yeah.
He's probably had more named recognitions per capita as anyone on this podcast. Like, all the time we mention him, but rightfully so. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Okay. Well, thank you, Benny.
You're so welcome.
So we're gonna move on to my pick. Okay, this is a artist I found. There'll be like sometimes where I'll go like searching for small artists and just kind of go down a rabbit hole. This was a song I found a while back. This is a very small artist with like 3K monthly listeners. And this song is just a great vibe, you know? And I'm always picking the depressing picks. And guess what, Freshies? I have one after this one. But I thought I should be upbeat a little bit, you know, pick a more upbeat song. So here is Christine by Wozniak. So
All right, I see you.
Okay, so before we get into this conversation, I got to make it very clear. I definitely see the flaws in this track. And it's a smaller artist. And lyrics.
Why flaws? Why flaws? I'm confused.
Because I know this is gonna be like some criticism. Why that? Like that's not a good song. But I think there is, for the industry that's so massive with so much music coming out where things get overcast by whatever, you know, there's different types of music that everyone can enjoy that are different. So what I mean by that is that like we can have songs that are not like super like dense, heavy in lyrics. They're just a good vibe that you want to sing along to, right? That's what this song is to me. I'm not sitting down and like deeply listening to this track. No, I'm either driving or doing something, clean my room, and this comes on and I'm singing along. That's the vibe I get from it. So like I can understand the flaws. Like sometimes the vocals are not mixed well, an example. But I think it's such a catchy beat. It repeats the refrain of Christine throughout the whole song, and it's just super catchy. So yeah, I definitely see the flaws in it, but I think it's very strong in what it does well, if that makes sense. What did you think of the track?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I don't see flaws in it. Like I don't think there's a right or wrong.
This is me not being confident in my choices. This is me. This is me not being confident in my choices.
No, yeah, there's no reason to say there are flaws. Like, I shouldn't say that. You're entitled to say whatever you feel and think is correct, right? In my opinion, I don't think there are flaws. It's art. There's no flaws in art. and I'm gonna keep on reiterating that.
Mhm.
I love the track. It's not something that I think I'd come back to personally, but it was very much like 70s,
60s.
60s,
Yeah,
70s,
60s,
like
yeah.
yeah, 60s,
50s.
70s,
50s
hippies,
diner, yeah.
like British invasion, Beatles, like
Yeah.
I was really into it. It checked off a lot of aspects that I like in music.
Yeah.
Uh and I could definitely hear the influence.
I tell you what, dude.
Yeah.
Underrated songs are ones with like people's names in them. There's some really good songs with people's names in them.
Delilah,
Yeah.
hey there,
There's a song called
Delilah.
Melanie that's really good too. I don't know what the band is, but it's a very good track.
Oh, Mel, my love. Shout
um
out to Mel,
we'll
my
never watch
bestie from
this.
Amsterdam,
Never will watch this.
from the Netherlands.
But yeah, I like that track. Very small artist.
This is how we'll know if she watches the podcast or listens to it.
Keep in mind, this guy has not
Big
posted.
friend.
This guy has
What?
not posted music since 2019, and he released an album. But the song we just
Uh-huh.
listened to was from 2017.
Interesting.
I don't know if this guy's
Yeah,
making
I'm
music anymore, but love it. Love that track.
good for him. Good for him. Good song. Good song. Good song. Shall we move on to the next?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
More, please.
That was my worst British accent that I've ever done. All right. So, my next track, are you familiar with Wolfpack at all?
Sounds familiar, but not for sure.
So Wolfpack is an independent band. We've learned about them in school actually. They did this thing a couple of years back called like Wolfpack Sleep or something, and they would ask their fans to listen to this album when they were sleeping, and it was just nothing. And they broke like the Spotify like uh payment uh you know method or whatever, and
Yeah,
they ended up getting paid thousands of dollars for nothing,
that's
for no
crazy.
music, tens of thousands of dollars. But Wolfpack is a musicians band. They're musicians for musicians. They make really good,
Like a
true,
Stephen Day.
deep, deep music. Yeah. And they have a lot of like revolving artists that are in the band, like Theo Katzman, Corey Wong, Antoine Stanley is a vocalist. He's really talented. But what they do is they kind of like cycle in different vocalists for different songs, and they're ingenious in how they create their music, and uh, it's very innovative, and for an independent band, they're incredibly talented. So Wolfpack, they're always, experimenting and doing different things. And I believe the producer of Wolfpack, his name's Jack Stratton. Could be wrong. But he has a second project called Wolfman, not Wolfpack, but Wolfman. And there's this one song specifically called "Letting Things Go," and it features an artist called Evangeline. And it's really sweet. It's really catchy. It's really vibey, and I think you'd really appreciate it. So, okay, here we go. This is called "Letting Things Go" by Wolfman featuring Evangeline.
But you're somebody I want to know. So if you
All right, Wiley, tell me the flaws.
You know what? I'm gonna take your advice, and I'm not gonna say that. Take your advice. We're learning on the fresh record today. We're learning on the fresh record today. Um, wow, what a emotional track and a instrumental that doesn't really allow you to be really deeply emotional about it. I think it's kind of like a more little upbeat, up tempo thing, but the vocals, dude. I love how the song doesn't overpower you with these instrumentals, and it's just carried by the beautiful vocals, and then just
Yeah.
kind of it's like a lazy river in a sense. Like the vocals are on top of
Mm-hmm.
the lazy river, and then the lazy river is just that beat that's kind of carrying you and guiding you through. Um, but yeah, like the
Wow. Look at that metaphor. Oh boy.
I really
All right,
like
Wiley, I see you.
I really like the lyrics and stuff. it's kind of a weird to break down a little bit, where it's like, okay, I like you, I want this to stay, and I've been hurt so many times, I'm just good at letting it go. So it's kind of like, it's not like, oh, this is a good thing I'm letting things go. It's like, okay, you really hurt me to the point where I want to be with you, but I'm having to let all this pain just kind of pass by me. It's deeply emotional, these lyrics, and it's crazy how it doesn't make you really dwell on that emotionalness until after the fact. So that's, I don't know what else to say more than that. I think it's impressive.
All right. Well, to add on to that, before I add on to that, I got to say the lazy river metaphor. Damn, I really, wow, did not expect that from you.
Wow, you
Uh,
didn't think I was
that
capable of that shit?
that that no, like on the fly, that would be a great song title. I'm gonna save that for my next songwriting assignment next week.
What?
Lazy river.
Oh, okay.
There's so much you could do with that. Um, so
We need to go to
I
Pelican Bay in
that's
Oklahoma.
great analogy. A lazy river is a really good way of explaining the song. Personally, for me, I love the innocence in the vocal
Mm-hmm.
and the peacefulness, and just how steady and complacent it is, and even the lyrics kind of complement that aesthetic that's created with the music itself, and like, I'm getting good at letting things go, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's let it be what it's going to be. That kind of really, you know, I'm at peace with what's going on,
Yeah.
kind of
Because
deal.
I think
So
it
yeah.
also helps with what you're bringing to the table, because the therapy I've been doing is I attach to thoughts, and that means it's hard for me to let things go and letting them move. And I've been learning how to let go of things so they stop attaching me from sabotaging my own life. So like with me coming in with that knowledge and listening to this song, it's like it's upbeat to me because yeah, it is good that I'm letting go. But then when you sit down and really look at the lyrics, it's more of a sad things that she's letting things go. So it's like there's a negative and a positive to it. It just depends how you come to the song, which I think is that's very hard to do. Usually with songs there is one concisive thought, and in most cases, and then there's a handful of songs out there that you can come in with many different perspectives and interpret it your own way. And I think this song is one of them, but that does that really well.
Oh, Wiley, we've got one more song on the hour.
Yes, we do.
Would you like to wrap up?
Yes, I would. I'm actually really excited to talk about this song. And funny enough, before we start, when we were listening to the last song together, I was looking at the followers because I thought maybe this would be a weird thing because I thought this artist was a lot bigger than she is, but she is not. And this song proves to why she should be. This is "Give Me a Reason" by Benny.
Just give me a reason, babe. Just give me a reason.
So, I found this song a couple of years ago, and I kind of been addicted to it on and off ever since I first heard it. And I was really trying to think when listening to it this time, like, what do I love about it so much? I think it's just like the chorus of "Give Me a Reason" just hits so hard. I think it's just such a good
Mhm.
chorus, and you're vibing with it. And then really paying attention to the instrumentals in this track, that bass line is incredible in this song. Just the boom, dude. It's just so nice.
Mhm.
And plus, it feels like I'm a big fan of pop music that goes under I would say like the lower tone, like still upbeat in the more soulful R&B type of style, but it's pop music with pop lyrics, and it's just kind of played down, not overpowering vocals. I think Bennett does at the end have her run-ons, but throughout the song, it's not really that way. It's very modest, very Amy Winehouse-esque, of that type of style. I'm not run-ons with a little bit of, I won't even call it twang, but just like something she does. I think this song's incredible. I'm very curious what you think about it.
Uh, Blown away.
Oh,
Honestly.
wow.
Yeah. Um, I love the R&B influence in her vocals. I think the track itself is incredibly marketable. The sound is very marketable. I'm astounded by the lack of streaming she has on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
or they have.
It should be a lot bigger, like I said.
29,000 monthly listeners.
I thought
like
she
I
was
can't
bigger.
even.
I thought she was in the millions. Like honestly, before I thought she was. I was hesitant to bring her because I thought she had more.
Yeah, and like as someone who works in A&R, my job is to find artists to sign, right?
Yeah.
And this is someone that I can't even present to a label because her streaming is so low. And it's a shame because this is pure talent. This is so like if someone invested money into this, into her career, if she can dish out songs like this, people are sleeping on this artist.
Do you remember Alicia Cara when she was blowing up when she
Of
started?
course.
So
of course,
I followed her very at the beginning, and I thought there was so much potential there and so much good tracks, and she put out quality records for a while. Then she kind of blew up, and now she is where she is. I feel like Bennett has the same potential, where you have a song with that much promise and so much sing along ability, Give Me a Reason could just be just the chorus could be a great TikTok sound in a sense, just I don't know, just things like that. It says give me a reason. You could just interpret that give me a reason to buy this thing. Give me a reason. But just that's what you mean by marketable. There's so many things you could do with it. But yeah, I think this is extremely talented. I remember back when I first found this, my friend Jose, we sent each other songs because we kind of had the same taste in music, and this was one I was really streaming a lot, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna send it to him. I'm hesitant to send it to him. He ended up loving it and started streaming it, and this is not his type of music, so that was shocking, and that really showed me that there is something here with this. So I completely agree. But yeah, it's astounding how I thought she had a lot more than she did, for sure.
Yeah, gosh, what a gem.
Blew Benny away.
Definitely the star of this episode.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
Yeah, I'll say that.
Holy shit!
No, I can't diss Blake like that. Blake, you got it, man. We love Blake Ruby over here at the Fresh Record. But okay, Bennett is new to both of us. Well, new to me.
Yeah.
We both knew of Blake before doing this, so yeah, really blown away. Wow.
Awesome. Well, guys,
yeah,
check out these songs and give them a follow. Give them streams. And if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the description. Also, a brand new thing I had to promote. I don't even think Benny knows this. We have an Instagram. Follow us at the Fresh Record Pod, and you can give us a follow on there. We'll post clips and shorts like that. So give that a follow, please, on the Instagram. You can follow me at Wileyktodd on all social medias. Benny, where can they find you?
You can find me at Benny Cumella on just about everything. We go through this every episode. Again, there's only one of me. If you need me, you'll find me.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time on The Fresh Record.